Turn goals, got some junk in the bag, in the bag, in the bag, in the bag. Hey, you in an interesting world, girl, the future is now. You in a little sailing ship and got some waves that you're proud. We got that artificial life, synthetic milking, no cow. We climbing up a lot of choices and a way to go down. First off, the big question, what you do with your life. A lot of people let success, we get so stuck on the strife.
Well, I guess we start off by saying hello. And welcome. So obviously this is the pilot to what could be the greatest podcast ever.
Yeah. Absolutely.
The GK Lounge Podcast, that is the name.
Mm-hmm.
What are we going to talk about, Julian? Just in general. I mean, keep it
Just
kind
in
of
general?
I mean, we're open to anything, but hit us with some.
Basically just things coming up in 2020, like for instance, video games, movies, type of technology,
Mm-hmm. It's a new year.
sort of that kind of genre. Beer.
Beer. I'm always down to talk about beer.
Beer can be a subject of discussion for sure.
Yes. That'd be cool. Oh man, if we could both get our hands on the same beer, like one that's rare in Canada and I could get it down here, and one that's rare.
Oh, that'd be kind of cool.
Yeah, you know what I mean? And we could do a taste test at the same time. Oh, that'd be sick. We'll have to try to figure that out. That'd be cool. Yeah, just
That
lighthearted.
could be a segment, just like beer of the day, huh?
Yeah, Thirsty Thursdays. Something like that. I don't know.
Thursdays.
But I know we do want to keep
All right.
it lighthearted. We don't want to get into politics.
Yeah.
Like we'll if there's something big going on, we'll be like, oh, that's crazy. But we're not gonna act like we know what we're talking about.
Yeah, just suddenly burst into a political discussion.
Yeah. So pretty much games, movies, beer.
Yep.
And maybe with some sports talk, depending on if there's a big event going on. What do you want to talk about first?
We do games. How
Okay.
about some upcoming games that are coming out?
Okay. Obviously Cyberpunk. That game looks so
Yeah.
sick.
Yeah, that looks.
And I know you're excited for it.
Well, yeah, no, I'm super pumped for it just because it's very reminiscent of Blade Runner, right?
Who-
Like
is
it's just it has.
Is it Naughty Dog? Is that who's making that one? I don't know why. I could be
think
so wrong.
Yeah.
I could be so wrong right now. I'm gonna look it up. I gotta look it up real quick.
Way off base.
Mike
It
Pondsmith
is
is one of the
by
designers.
It is by developers CD Projekt and CD Projekt Red.
Okay, no clue.
Definitely
What?
not Naughty Dog. I have no idea.
I don't know. So they did like The Witcher and stuff like that. So it's got a good development team behind it.
Yeah, it's got a solid base.
But
Okay,
yeah, that game looks sweet. I was telling you
trust them,
before, I have never wanted to play. I mean, I have, but not in like how much I want to now. A flight simulator, Microsoft X flight simulator, looks insane.
Oh, yeah.
Dude, the weather, just like I mean, I'm sure you're gonna need a good PC to run it, which we have.
Yeah.
I'm so
Yeah,
down to
absolutely.
do a
You're gonna
flight
need-
sim.
It is going to be pretty cool. And it's going to be one of those games that you play that's relaxing and sort of keeps you interested at
Until you're
the same time.
We're going to. We could roleplay the hell out of that game though. That'd be so fun.
Yeah, you definitely could. Yeah, that's probably going to be the most fun, I would think. And also, I want to see how accurate it is, right? Because they boast about how, you can fly over your hometown and see your house.
Fly over to my hood.
And
like,
I want
"Oh,
to see.
I'm outside. Am I
Yeah.
on the game?
The scary real life implications of like, you're like, hey, I'm flying over your house, and I look outside. There's a small plane. I'm like, what? Yeah, this is a little over the boundaries. Yeah, no, oh man, that's gonna be pretty fun. Oh, what is See, I was a huge fan of Dying Light 1, or the first Dying Light, for like a good while. Just because it had parkour, it had really good graphics, it had a pretty good storyline.
Mm-hmm.
kept you engaged. But then, like, as some games, like that do, once you complete the story, and then you're kind of like, I don't know if I want to just keep
You get
sprinting
bored.
around to. Yeah,
Dude,
like it kind of
Assassin's Creed
changes.
is a perfect example.
Assassin's Creed, yeah, Assassin's Creed is I find Assassin's Creed and those kind of games kind of like an interactive miniseries, like
Mm-hmm.
you're the main character in a miniseries.
Yeah, 100%.
So you get to live the life, you get to live, that whole experience, and that's what you're paying for. And if it has, great combat and graphics and everything, then it sort of just bundles it up and just makes it much better.
Yeah.
You definitely need that solid storyline to it, because
Yeah.
if you don't have that intrigue of continuing a campaign, then you kind of lost that
They're definitely
immersiveness.
good purchases at the time. I'm not saying like later it's bad, but it's a lot
Yeah.
of times those games like Dying Light, Assassin's Creed, and I can't think of a few others right now, but
Yep.
you just indulge in them, like that's all you play until the story's over, and then you start to fade out.
Yeah. Yeah. No, for sure. I definitely feel that way.
I mean
The one
that's just
thing,
all games really.
yeah, true. And then you got the staples that stick around for forever. Why I'm excited for Dying Light 2 is because they're implementing a much more multiplayer sort of faceted platform.
Mm.
And I'm kind of excited for that, because I'm kind of excited to see what they do. Like, if they're going to keep it the same as the multiplayer that's in Dying Light, which is like you can join a server and there's 6 guys in it, you can group up and that kind of thing. That's cool. But if I can see if they made the maps as they still do, and they kind of have sections where you can't go, which helps developers create a smaller zone of reference, so they don't have to code like madmen to make a procedurally generated map, right?
Yeah.
Or a game that takes a lot of time and money. But if you can actually join a server with, let's say, 12 people, like not crazy amount more, but just enough that if you ran into people, that you could have some type of implication of like PvP combat.
Yeah.
Like, if you engage on somebody, they have to engage back, or let's say some person, you can't injure them anymore. Kind of like how Fallout 76 did that. Like, they had the rule that if you shot somebody just out of the blue and they didn't engage within like a few seconds, or they didn't accept the engagement, then basically you did 0 damage to them. Like, it's just kind of.
Yeah. It's kind of like Grand Theft Auto. It's like if you didn't want to get, I mean, we've all played Grand Theft Auto Online, and it can be super fun. It can also be the most
Yeah.
irritating game you have ever played in your life. And
Yeah.
they have
It
that
can make
safe
you
mode,
wanna-
or I forget what it's called, where it's like no one can shoot you and stuff. People can still run you over and stuff, but you just hide somewhere where it's safe, and in your car they
Yeah.
can't blow you up and things like that. And I think that's
Yeah.
important, especially with open map games ish, depending on the game.
Yeah. Yeah.
If there's something like that where it's like especially if you're AFK or something, God, that would suck. If you're AFK
Oh.
and like someone just started destroying, man. But if it was something
Yeah.
like that where it's like, if you engage, then
Yeah.
it's go time.
Kind of like how
Or like accept the challenge, pretty much. Like you could challenge people rather than like
Yeah.
having to damage them or anything. You'd be like, I challenge, and then they'd be like, let's go, boy.
Yeah, kind of like how Borderlands did it, right? Like,
Mhm.
you melee your friends and they can melee back, and you have a 1v1. And all sort of levels and gun, all sort of level abilities are kind of like toned down a little bit.
Dude, I hate to bring
And
it
then
up
you
again,
kind
but
of
Grand Theft Auto, they did the same thing. If someone killed you so many times, it would bring you into 1v1 if you both accepted.
Yeah.
Squashing the beef.
Yeah, true. Yeah, it would. But the one thing that Grand Theft Auto had, that even if you're doing the 1v1, other people can still kill you, and then you'd like respawn like 40 meters or like 100 meters away,
Yeah.
and that person is like trying to run over to you to kill you, and then you die again. And you're
Yeah,
like,
there's a
oh.
reason I don't play that game anymore.
One of the things I remember saying to a friend of mine is that Grand Theft Auto Online should have a warning may cause hair loss from you pulling it out. Like, it's just like you really can't. There's certain times you just get so aggravated and you can't do anything about it. You're just like, well,
Yeah.
guess I'm just not gonna play.
Well, day one. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, let's move on.
Okay.
Before we get to the big one, which I know you want to talk about, there's a few like, there's a couple that I forgot about. One being Beyond Good and Evil 2.
Oh yeah.
I didn't
yeah.
play the first one, but I did. I watched the trailer to the second one. It was like a year ago, and I was like, dude, this
Jeez.
game looks so sick. I had never heard of it. I don't know where I was. I mean, I grew up playing outside a lot, unlike these other fucking kids. But that looks interesting to me. I'll probably buy it just to play it. The other one was I don't know if you've seen this, Ghost of. I want to say this right. I want to say it's Tsushima. Ghost of Tsushima. It's a samurai game. Yeah, TS
Ghost of Sick.
Tsushima.
Yeah.
Dude, that game looks so good. If anyone is happening to listen right now and you have not seen the trailer of Ghost of Tsushima, go watch it.
Watch it. Yeah.
Because
Yeah,
it does look good. I feel like we've needed, I don't know what they have in Japan and stuff. They might have some sick games they've been holding back, but we don't have any games like that right now. I mean, Assassin's Creed would probably be the closest to come to that type of a game.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It'd be like some sort of assassin that had a samurai background and stuff like that. And
Yeah, I can't think of any. And I gotta say, like, assassin games like that, that have but the thing with that game is that it looks phenomenal.
It
Like
does.
the actual graphics alone and the shading, how the light, like if you're inside, you can see the rain falling, you can see the shadows of the rain.
and it's
Like,
still
that's just-
early. That's one thing I hate
Yeah,
about
like,
these
that's
games,
insane.
these big releases. It's like, oh my gosh, that looks great. And then you get into the game, you're like, where's what I saw? It's like, oh, we were running on an 8K, $15,000 computer with the new NVIDIA V-Sync 360 hertz monitor and it's like,
Yeah.
damn, son.
Yeah, I do like, and a little kind of cool thing that some developers do when they're releasing their early footage is when they put something at the bottom that says ran on like a 1070, right?
Yeah.
Or like a 1080 on medium or something. Like, it'll tell you what it's running on, so you can actually be like, oh, so that's what it's going to look like.
Yeah.
Because I remember a while ago when games would literally just release cinematics, right? Like, it was just purely cinematics. And people were like, oh my God, look at these graphics. But then the game would come out and they'd be at E3 and they'd be like, and some gameplay. And they put them on the big screen and everyone's like, what is that?
There'd be really small writing on the bottom of it where it's like not actual gameplay
Yeah.
for the trailers and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, no, it looks fantastic because I do love stealth style games that have like an element of stealth. Dishonored. Did you play Dishonored?
I haven't.
Yeah.
I've watched people play.
Yeah, it's so much fun because it has the element of like, stealth, you're an assassin, but, of course, all stealth games do. If you want to go loud, you can. But the thing about Dishonored is that you don't have the weaponry to go loud.
No.
Like, if you want to like try, you know what? Hats off to you if you've played Dishonored on loud and you decide to go, guns blazing, then hats off, because you have a pistol, that has like 6 shots, and then there's 30 guys. So, and they all have guns and they have turrets and they have, so there's all these crazy things, but you have to use strategy for like where you're going to teleport, what animal can you transform into, like where are you going to crawl when you're a rat, like how you're going to maneuver around these maps, and they're totally open, and there's tons of different routes, but it's all about how you choose to play it and how you choose what path you take. Stealth games always they're so much fun.
They're fun because
it's
when you do it right, it's like it's so suspenseful.
satisfying.
Think of like the Call of Duty missions, like back in the day, Modern Warfare, when you're freaking with your young Captain Price in a ghillie suit. It's like it's this game that's known to be like guns blazing, you know, shooting, like not a whole lot of consequences, and then all of a sudden they hit you with this mission where it was just like, you going dog, and it's like, oh my god, I can't shoot these guys. They're right there. I want to shoot them.
Yeah.
And now they're doing
like,
a lot better, especially Call of Duty doing with those quieter missions, because that was like one of the most iconic missions of Call of Duty history.
Yeah. Yeah. And the new stealth missions in the new COD, like in Modern Warfare.
That's what I'm saying. It's it's almost too real now. They need to dial it back.
It is. Yeah, but that is the one thing that, because Treyarch made the new one, right? This one?
No, Activision.
Oh, it's Activision. Oh, I don't even know how I'm messing that up.
The only reason I know that, they've gone back and forth so much, the only reason I know that is because I follow Activision on Instagram, and they're always posting about Modern Warfare.
That's true. Oh, and you had to make an Activision account.
Yep.
You got on there. So that makes sense.
It does.
But but I do love how they've come back to, how this Modern Warfare is a complete like revamp, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's not connected to the old story. Like it'll most likely it'll have the same people. We've heard, if you've played Modern Warfare and you've gotten to the end of the campaign, you hear all these reminiscent names and people that you get excited about, because this is the beginning. It's the beginning of what you've already played, but it's going to be different.
Yeah, if you haven't played
the people,
the campaign, go play it right. And pause this if you're listening. Pause this. Go finish the campaign and come back, because I'm about to drop a spoiler.
All right.
Because in the previous ones, I mean, I liked playing Soap, but it was always like I don't know why, but the other characters, I think it's a lot of the times it's like the cutscenes and stuff. You're always the one that's getting picked up and stuff like that. You're never the guy picking up other people going, get up, let's go, let's move it. I wanted to be Gaz for Captain Price so bad. And this whole fucking campaign, I was like, this guy's lame. I'm playing this guy from England or wherever he was from. Lo and behold, I'm playing a badass that I idled when I was younger, playing old Call of Duties. Mm-hmm. And they tricked me. And that's what made that ending so much better. Was like, oh my god, I'm getting chills right now. It's so stupid. It's a video game. I'm getting chills talking about when they revealed who the characters were, and it was like, it makes so much sense now.
I know. Oh my god, yeah.
That's a good dude. Their storylines are so good.
Oh yeah, no. When he has the files and he goes like Captain Carrot. He goes, they call him Gaz, and I'm like, oh.
Dude.
It's like, and Simon Riley
goes.
He goes, there he is, and puts it down. And he's like, there's no photo. He goes, never is. And I'm like, gets you amped.
Yeah. It just goes back
now.
So far. Anyways, yeah.
How much do you want to bet that, another spoiler, if you haven't played the campaign, go play it. But another point that I want to touch on is, how much do you think Ghost in this universe, in this Modern Warfare, is Alex? The guy who supposedly died in the plant explosion.
Yeah.
In quotations. It's just because he always talks about how the CIA has always got an eye on him. How he's always under surveillance. How like he never has time to do anything else. Once you're in, right?
Yeah.
And even the last thing where he's talking to Farah and he goes, I've lived my whole life following a mission. never actually be able to do something that he wants to do. So the first time he does, he gets to sacrifice himself. And I think that's just his identity. Because even the old Call of Duty, we never saw Ghostface.
No.
Like,
yeah, that's tough though, because like I feel like Simon Riley already had a repertoire.
he did, yeah. That's the one thing he
But,
does have. He
I
has
don't know.
a very
That's
short
not a
backstory.
huge stretch though.
No, and like and as they said before, some backstories and some things are going to be different in this Call of Duty universe, in this Modern Warfare universe, than the previous one. And Ghost's backstory in the first one is still very short. All we know is that he worked for the SAS. You know, he was involved in a couple of missions, Captain Price. That's it.
Yeah.
You know, it's very cut and dry.
I'll say though, World at War and this Call of Duty are probably my favorite ones right now. I just think it was I don't want to say the first one, but wait, World at War. I think it was the one with the first zombies.
Yeah. Well,
the
that's where
original
they added. That's when they added the gore warning.
Mm-hmm. I don't know why that one.
Gore warning.
I like all the other ones. They're fun.
Yep.
I just think this recent one was so well done. And as much as when we play, I get mad at the spawns and stuff sometimes. That's just me, dude. I just get mad. I can literally be screaming at a game and be like, I'm done, and log off. And I go see Robin, and I'm like, hey, what's up? And I'm absolutely perfectly fine. I'm just done playing this stupid game. No, I do think this is, just the campaign alone was awesome and super rewarding.
Yep.
And people were like, they stole the battle pass idea from, Fortnite. It's like, dude, everyone pulls from everyone.
Yep.
It's literally, you see something successful, you're not going to be like, well, let's screw that idea. There's Epic Games and their stupid battle pass making all this money. No, they're going to be like, let's throw in a battle pass. If we can do it, we know these people are going to buy it, and my dumbass sure did. I will say, though, Activision, if you're listening, which I hope this gets, you have some sort of system where you see something, Activision gets flagged, and all of a sudden you got some intern that's listening right now. Take the prices down a little bit. I want to buy some skins. I don't want to use my paycheck to pay for your shit. I already bought the game, which I didn't because I bought a RTX 2070 Super and it came with it. But a lot of people already bought the game. Just chill out. $24 for this little pack that I can fuck. That's what I don't get.
Yeah,
man.
there was a pack that I wanted badly. That's 3,200 points.
Yeah, I'm not gonna do it. I've come all the way to chapter 2 of Fortnite, buying skins the whole time. All right, I've learned a few things. All right, I'm done doing it.
I've been around the block.
If there's a really good one where I'm like, you know what, this one is, I'm gonna use it like consistently, I'll be like, yeah, I'll buy it. And that's only if the character's cool, if all the guns is cool, the skins, the perks, everything. Other than that, lower your prices.
Absolutely. Yeah, I agree.
Okay, let's move on. Now I'm worked up about.
I'm paying too much for for some skin. Oh God.
There's not a whole lot of games that are coming out in 2020 that I'm like, holy cow, like I want to play that.
That is true. Except I am very, very excited for a game that I've played a little bit in the past. So
I don't even know if that's the right, but go ahead.
It's close. It's close. Halo Infinite. Yeah.
There we go. I'm on it now.
There we go.
Yeah, Halo Infinite looks
that was beautiful.
Dope.
Oh, it looks fantastic. And the way that they're bringing back the Master Chief design from basically like Halo 2,
which
I would
was
say,
my
the
favorite
Master Chief
Halo
helmet design. Yeah, it's the Master Chief armor from Halo 2, I'm pretty sure. Looks phenomenal. Which was crazy. When they released the trailer, I was like, man, this is gorgeous. Like, I can't believe looks so beautiful. But it was all that was gameplay off of a 1080 running on high.
Yeah.
Now I don't know
1080s are
what
still
Bungie
tanks
is.
though.
The only thing the RTX has that will improve the graphics is ray tracing,
Yep. Which is a big thing now.
which is big. Which is big. It does make things look very pretty. And very cinematic when you're playing on, campaign style missions. Very cinematic. But yeah, I was super surprised and I was like, wow, this looks fantastic. And they're bringing back, old maps. Looks like they're bringing back Ragnarok, which is like one of my favorite maps. I don't know what the multiplayer is going to be like. I don't know if they're going to have because right now Halo 5, you really can't play unless you have, well, I guess unless you both have online profiles or like a guest, you can play like just you and a buddy. You can play against against each other, but you can't actually play with a buddy online anymore. Which I know they're trying to like deviate away from people being able to play with multiple people in one house, and they want the monies, which makes sense. But there is something about Halo, and I hope they bring it back, about Halo playing with 4 friends on one TV and playing Infected or SWAT or Griffball, something like that.
Dude,
at
settle in
home
debts.
on the couch. Huh?
I said settle in debts.
Oh yeah, literally, yeah. There are times where beefs are squashed, debts are settled. Like it's an awesome, super like great experience and such fond memories of mine. And I'm super excited to see what they do competitively. I'm excited to see the cross-platform between. Now, did they change their mind, or are they still only releasing on PC?
I don't know.
I can't remember.
I really don't know.
Can't remember.
I know a lot of people have been playing Halo. Was it Halo Reach on PC recently? Which one was
Xbox,
just converted?
It
Or
was the
just had
Master
the-
Chief Edition.
Yeah, so because I
Master
know a
Chief
lot of
Edition.
people have been streaming and playing that one, doing multiplayer
Yeah.
recently, including like some in
Yeah,
OG and like bigger people.
Yeah, it's a remastered of like Halo 1, 2, 3, 4, and Reach, I think. But the Halo Infinite is for Xbox One and Windows 10. Okay. So yeah, I'm excited to see what they do competitively. Because I was a huge fan of Halo 5's competitive market, how they did it, how the tier system worked. You were queued up, and what was great about when you were playing your intro games, like you're playing, you really just gotta jump in. Like you just jump straight in, and
Best way to
you
learn.
don't really have any, huh?
It's the best way to learn.
Yeah, and so you just kind of thrown right into the fire, and whatever happens happens. But when you're queued up in your promos, you're put with average players. Like you're put with people who are in, silver, like 3 to 5, and then you got like gold 1 to 2. Like you got the very sort of averagely ranked players, because that's what's going to determine where you get placed, right? And that I find is a lot better than some tier systems that work when you get put into a queue for some type of competitive market, that you get put into like the very low end, like people who are like playing their promos with you, and people who are like bronze or like really low. Because then sometimes you can play your promos like, damn, that was easy, and then people are like, wow, you did great, you're in gold or platinum, and then suddenly you're getting your ass handed to you by people who are actually in platinum.
Yeah.
Like the skill level is so drastically different from like platinum to gold and platinum to onyx and onyx to champion.
Yeah, true.
Like those are huge differences. But I feel like they did a great job with that. I'm very, very excited to play it. I will be getting it on the day of it coming out, most likely.
And dude, honestly, I'll probably get it too. And this will be the first Halo I've purchased or got my hands on. However, if someone wants to send it my way, since Halo 2, and I didn't even buy that. My brother bought that. We just played it together. So
You're like that.
but really, I love the Halo series. It just seems like every household I went to had an Xbox that had it, and it was like I never needed it. Especially like I said, growing up, I was outside a lot, didn't have internet until I was moved out of my house. So it's like there was no point to get these multiplayer games. I played all the Assassin's Creed and stuff like that, and all the career focused games. Before we move on,
yes,
there's a couple that I feel like we should mention. I don't really want to talk about them because I don't know a lot about them.
Okay.
One is called 12 Minutes. Have you seen that one?
12 minutes. No.
I don't know how the gameplay works, but the trailer, I want to say, is how the gameplay is, and it's like a living room, and you play a guy, and it's pretty much you're reliving like this 12 minutes over and over again. So it's like a puzzle.
Yeah, it's like an interactive thriller type thing.
Yeah. That looks interesting. I depending on how much that game is, because that looks like a game that could have very little content, which is fine.
Yeah.
But I mean, if that's like a $15 game, I'd play it. But if they're gonna come out and be like $60, there's gonna be it's like no. There was something else. Oh, Rainbow Six is coming out with like a zombies or something. I don't know what that is. Quarantine.
Oh,
Rainbow Six Quarantine. Yeah. I don't know a lot about that either, so I definitely want to talk about that in the next episode. Or I guess since this is a pilot, it'd be our first official episode. But, yeah. So I think, and they're gonna release more trailers and stuff, and games will pique our interest, and we'll talk about them again later, and we'll come back to that. But before we get off of gaming, remember I was saying that I had a question for you. Pretty much a question.
Uh-huh.
And I was like, I don't want to ask you now because I want your genuine, like, off the cuff opinion.
Yeah. Off the yeah.
So at first it's like okay, yeah, right. That's always. So the thing is, where are we going with games? Like, because VR is becoming so popular and it's becoming so advanced.
Yep.
Do you think there's going to be a point where there's no controller? Where everything is a VR game, no matter what?
Wow. I would say yes and no. I would say yes because I feel with VR and AR how people are amalgamating them together in certain types of games and prototypes and whatever they're trying to make. But the big thing that VR and when I think it's going to change dramatically, and when where things are just going to sort of take off, is when they release. And there are companies out there that have prototypes of them right now. Like, and what I'm trying to say is like haptic style suits, not full on suits, but just things that are connected via the game and can sync up with the game's interface. And there are prototypes out there. You can buy them. They're not crazy high tech. They look really cool. They're still a little bit bulky, but that's you can't really.
You can't buy them if you're buying those
like
Call of Duty battle pass or skins and stuff. You can't afford it after that.
Yeah.
Anyways.
Yes. Almost choked on a piece of popcorn. But yeah, it's like you can't really thrust technology forward like that. But one thing that there's always pieces, because I always think to myself, man, like VR would be so great if we had gloves, just gloves with a controller and like it tracked your fingers, which people are working on. Like HTC is working on gloves, and I've seen
you think
prototypes.
Of the controllers themselves now. They're almost there. I mean, you can move. There's literally like you can do each finger and stuff like that. It's just not.
Yeah, the knuckles that came out with Steam.
Yep.
Yeah, it's like there's there is progress being made, but you kind of go, man, I wonder like what's going on. Like nothing is happening, or I can't really like this seems too like far in the future. But then things happen in the world where you kind of go, okay, maybe tech is moving faster than we think, but we're just not inclined enough to see it all the time, right?
I'm not aware of it, dude. I mean, I
Like
didn't
for
know
instance,
the trackers came out like for VR. I thought it was just like the goggles and stuff, and all of a sudden it was like, wait, there's full body trackers. What?
hmm yeah, no, like and that's another thing they're trying to work on is socks. So the main setup for the future of VR that people want to have is basically a little more, I wouldn't say realistic. Okay, I would say realistic point of view in the next sort of 20 years kind of thing. Is almost like look at Ready Player One.
Oh
Did you
my
see that
god,
movie?
I literally have that in my notes in quotes. I'm gonna read what my note says. It says where games are going dash VR, and then I'm gonna leave this next little piece blank because I'll bring it up in a second. But then in quotes after that it says movie Ready Player One, because that is exactly what I
Yeah,
was thinking.
yeah, no, because and that's where they're trying like just get the basis off of, right? Like they want to have like socks and gloves, so you don't have a controller anymore. Your hands are the controller, right? Like they'll track your fingers, the way you rotate, everything like that.
Yeah.
And I've seen prototypes already that are, even though the game they're playing was so incredibly basic, you kind of just go like, eh. But when you think about it, how many games start off like that anyways? Like
All of them.
people, yeah, people you don't just like start drawing up Master Chief in full 1080p and you're just like, yeah, so we're just gonna add color. So,
No, dude.
but no, so they start off like that, and this guy puts his hand out, and there's like a little rain cloud. He puts his hand out, and he's just like, "Oh, I want to feel the rain." And he said he could feel the rain, each individual droplet, because the haptics had just over 400 and something sensors in the glove, in
That's
one
insane.
glove, and so he could feel each individual droplet, like on his fingers, on
That's
his
just
palm,
like light years beyond
and
what I was even thinking.
and then he turned over his hand, and like he could feel in the back of his hand. He stuck out one finger. He could feel the individual droplets on the tip of his finger. And those are being made. Those have already been made. They've been around for almost a year and a half now. So they're working on them. They want to release them. And who knows where they're at now.
Well, my thing
But,
is,
and then also,
go ahead.
huh?
Go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say, but then also having the socks and a slightly concave, the best way to do it they're trying to find is a slightly concave dish, right? With something that supports you. And you can buy them right now. They have them as well.
With the like
But
harness.
like you stand, yes, you stand the dish, you're kind of harnessed up, and it keeps you upright, but you're running, right? Like you're the one running.
Obesity
You're the one moving,
solved.
turning.
Fat 12-year-old playing a video game. Psst. How about running a mile in
it
Call
may
of
seem
Duty?
like a laugh. Yeah, literally, it may seem like a laugh, but that's exactly what people in tech are trying to hope for as well. But the fact that they already have those as prototypes a year and a half ago is incredible. And then recently, in the news, just a little piece of tech. Did you see? So you know the it's a Hadron. Oh, damn, Hadron Collider. It's in the UK. It's in Europe. It spans just over a mile long. It's a Hadron Collider. So it's a particle collider, right? So what it does is it works in a system of trying to amalgamate atoms together. And
Hey, I know a few atoms.
yeah,
And we get together on the weekends.
yeah, you guys, you
Got a
guys
couple
get together.
beers, my buddies named Adam and Adam.
But yeah, and it's a particle collider. And it's also a particle accelerator. So it's made to produce, new types of like a new type of neutron, or like it's incredibly high tech, right? Like it's incredibly high end. It's space age kind of tech. It's
Wait, so you
incredibly
tell me you could take
large.
one element that has a certain amount of like atoms at whatever, and then be like, we're gonna change this up a little bit. It's like,
But
well,
yeah,
we
they
got
put it
metal
into
now. We
that.
got metal.
And oh, basically, it'll go at such speeds that it will create something different.
Yeah,
It will amalgamate elements,
that's scary.
and so yeah, and of
Sometimes I'm like,
course,
I
you
don't
know,
know.
there's one side effect, you know, if it goes off
It's cancer.
and something bad happens, no, the atoms will collide and cause a temporal rift and create a black hole and suck us all in and
Oh,
kill us all
worth it.
in less than a second.
Worth it. There's something's gonna
So,
happen eventually. Might as well do it ourselves.
but they built this thing because it's incredibly huge. It spans almost like 4 miles. Like it's massive.
Yeah, maybe if you're
But
building something that's 4 miles long, maybe don't. Maybe you wait until we're. That's...
But scientists have created a new type of particle accelerator that fits onto a silicon chip, and it is 0.3 microns wide, which is just half the length of a human hair, half the thickness. So someone just created a hadron collider that is 4 miles long, incredibly huge. The structure is over 20 feet tall, but now they've created one that is does the same thing. It accelerates particles, creates new, type of bodies of atoms. That is 0.3 microns thick.
How in the fuck did we get here from me talking about VR control?
Well, because this is the jump. This is why I'm just mentioning certain tech, where you kind of go, I wonder where tech's going, and then someone does that, right? Like, we spend billions of dollars creating something so large, so huge, it does one thing, and then we create something that's literally thinner than our hair, it does the exact same thing.
That's wild.
So it shows that there's opportunity and that there's, the speed that tech and games, movies, CGI, medicine, how fast it's going is pretty incredible.
Well, this is just something I heard today, actually. Could be 100% false, but it's kind of related. Someone was talking about technology, and they're like, back in the 70s, the U.S. was like, yo, we made the smallest copper wire. Check this out. They sent it out to people, sent it out to China. China sent it back with holes drilled in it. So the story goes.
That's real, yeah.
Yeah, didn't know if it was or not. But so what I was getting at was, because when you first say, like, do you think controllers are going to be irrelevant? Like, we're all going to go to VR, and people are like, no, controllers will always be here. It's like, yeah, but they were saying similar stuff when it used to be just a joystick. I don't think people understand how quick it's moved, and how literally I mean, we'll probably still eventually like have arcade machines almost that have a controller. It's like, oh man, an Xbox One controller. This is crazy. Like, I used to play on these, blah, 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 blah. But I really do think that the controller is going to advance. And it might advance to a point where it's just like, it's your Xbox controller, but it breaks apart and you put your goggles on. And that's it. But that is advancing a lot if they're gonna be able to make controllers do that.
Well, yeah, it's the whole like aspect of that with the like moving in tech is just I can't remember what where I saw that article, but it was saying how tech is moving at just over 40 times faster than it was in like 1990. Right? Like, look at the year like 2000. Like, it was before even the first iPhone.
Mm-hmm.
And
that's when cell phone technology, that's when they focused in on that, because it was like such a big market. It was like,
and
how
so
can we make this easier for everyone?
Yeah, and that's 20 years ago. And now look, we have We have cell phones that are more powerful now that I'm holding in my hand right now. That are more powerful than the world's strongest supercomputer in 2000.
Yeah.
Like, and it's just a thing. It's just a commodity. It's like, oh
This
yeah, I got a
computer
new phone. Check it
has
out.
Wi-Fi.
Boom
It's like,
boom.
holy shit.
Yeah. It's like, do you know how incredible that is?
Yeah, that's crazy.
Like, I still think one of the I remember watching my sister sent me this video where it was this guy who he says, "Man, imagine someone had created the internet when there was no internet." And I kind of sat there, I was like, God, that kind of blows your mind. You're like,
Psychopath.
what a maniac.
Bunch of
But
freaks out there.
but yeah, it's I can't imagine what things are gonna be like in tech and in this type of industry, in any industry, in about 20 years. You know, like,
It is scary.
you look at some CGI nowadays and you're like, that's not CGI. And then that's real. And then they're like, nope, that's CGI. And you're like, what?
Dude, like,
Like,
watching some of the Final Fantasy movies, like back in the day,
mhm.
and it's like, oh my god, this
Yeah.
is so real. And you see them now, you're like, I thought that was real. What am I? Was I stupid? It's like, technology just moved. You're fine. Everyone thought it was real.
That was like that was like a side by side where it showed the GameCube Spider-Man game. And it says, remember when you saw this and you're like, look at the graphics, and it looks like just horrible pixelated
yeah.
nonsense. But then nowadays people are like, I don't know, graphics aren't that great, but it shows like Spider-Man looking at himself in the mirror of like the Freedom Tower in New York in the new Spider-Man game, and you're like, that's incredible. Like, that's crazy.
Yeah. Well, you know what's even crazier? Is our own planet. That movie, what is it? Underwater. That did it come out already? No. Comes out this weekend.
It comes out this weekend?
I'm pretty sure on the 11th, on Friday.
Oh man, that's exciting.
But
yeah,
that I love scary movies, and I love aliens and stuff like that. But I also love that our ocean is so alien. It is insane, and I'm sure everyone's heard people talk about it. It's awesome, but it's cool that they're finally doing a movie where it's like, you've seen all these alien movies where they're on another planet or something like that, or something lands here, but it's like you haven't really seen one, at least not to my knowledge, where it's like, yo, you're getting down in the ocean and you're hitting something that you didn't know was there because we don't know what's there.
Yeah.
It's creepy because it's like, what if that's true? Like, what if this is like a Simpsons episode and they're just calling it right now?
Because, like, and the premise of it is pretty cool, right? Like, they're mining on the bottom of the ocean. And
like that alone could be a movie where it's like something goes wrong. You know, how many shark movies has been where like they're underwater and there's a shark coming? It's like, okay, we've seen that a million times. And we're like, we don't know what we woke up. And
we get it. There's a lot of sharks.
Yeah. There's small sharks, big sharks, megalodons used to exist. We get it. You bring aliens into it, and it's just it looks like a pretty good movie. It'll probably flop.
Yeah,
but
no.
Good idea.
It comes out 2 days.
Yeah, Wait.
Yeah, Friday. Yeah.
Friday? Oh, the 11th is Saturday. It's the 10th. Yeah, that looks like that was one of the movies I wanted to talk about.
That looks
briefly. Ricky Gervais, speaking of movies and stuff and awards, Golden Globes, just destroyed people. That was awesome.
Yeah, he was a savage.
I think it's funny because people are like overreacting. He was kind of joking, like it was dark humor, but like any humor, it's only funny because there's some truth behind it. So that's why it's like every comedian that's telling a story, it's always funnier because it's a lot of the time it's usually happening. It's just an exaggerated version. But I thought that was
exactly.
I thought that was perfect. I think that's what we needed, and I think he really doesn't give a fuck anymore. That's great.
Yeah, no, I 100% agree. Because it's man, the kind of things he was bringing up, I was kind of sitting there going, okay, that's true.
If he ends if he ends up dead, whoa, Illuminati or somebody, Apple, I don't know who got to him. Might be the same people. There's
Illuma Apple.
Illuma Apple. There's a lot of good movies coming out though. I mean, every year. I feel like,
God,
dude, especially Christmas time. Oh, what do you? I want to get a movie pass and just go see all these movies, but I can't because I can wait and rent them on Redbox
like
or something.
what comes out in like a week or so? Like Bad Boys for Life, like the final Bad Boys movie.
You want to bet
awesome.
I don't own those on DVD, back to back, dual feature. Yeah, I'm excited for that one. Martin Lawrence looking a little rough, but honestly, not as rough as I thought he was gonna look.
Yeah, that's true.
Will Smith is just like, I think he gets worked on by scientists.
Yeah, he's definitely.
And they're like, we have to gray your hair a little bit, Will. People are gonna get suspicious. He's like, all right.
That's hot.
That's hot. That's hot.
The new Guy Ritchie film that I'm
Oh
really
my
excited for
god,
is
the Gentleman, dude.
Yeah,
I don't think there's a single Guy Ritchie like film that I don't like. Okay, I'm gonna be honest.
Yeah.
Aladdin I wasn't with it the first like 10 minutes of the new Aladdin. After that, I was with it.
I know. Yeah, same here.
Dude, Snatch is. I mean, I have that one on DVD too. I say this because it's like a weird flex because I feel like a lot of people nowadays are like just renting movies or whatever. But you don't understand. If I like a movie, I don't want to have to go onto any streaming service or anything like that. If the power's out, I don't want to have to be like, oh man, I can't watch my favorite movie. I have these movies because I love them, and I'm gonna be like, I'm gonna just plug this bitch in.
That's
because I have I said the power's out, but I have a computer, like a laptop that plays. So it's like, fuck off if you're like, what an idiot. Suck my. Anyways.
Stupid.
But yeah, that movie and the actors in it, dude, like just banger of a movie.
Let me tell you a story, Raymond. Play a game with me. He goes, no, I'm not.
Dude,
come on, please.
It's gonna be, Guy Ritchie does really good.
So that's
films.
That's awesome. Really creepy one that's gonna come out. Gretel and Hansel.
Yeah, I don't know how I feel about that one yet. I think it could be good. I think it also could be super fucking boring.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see how they do it.
And it's one of those ones where it's like, I hate to say it early, but it's gonna be a rental because it's like, I kind of already know how this story ends. You know, how creepy can it be the whole time knowing how the ending goes? You know what I mean? As to where some of these other movies where it's just like a whole new plot you've never heard of, where you're like, you don't know what's gonna happen, so that's what keeps you in. So I feel like that one, I think it's gonna have creepy aspects and kind of nostalgic because of I mean, we've all seen like Hansel and Gretel little cartoons and stuff like that in books, but I do think that one. Speaking of creepy, have you seen the one for The Lodge?
The Lodge.
Yeah.
No.
I don't know if it's super recent because it popped up on my feed today, and I was like, "Ooh!" So I watched it. It's about like a family, a husband, wife, two kids. Wife dies. Later, new lady comes in. They go out to their lodge, like wherever, somewhere when it's snowing. The kids aren't really fond of her. They're like, "Who's this new bitch?" You know, they're out in the snow. She's wearing their mom's hat, and they're like, "That's our mom's hat." You know, making it super awkward. It's like, damn, kids. Rightfully so. But all of a sudden, they start realizing something's up, like with mom's death, and it seems like she was part of like a religious cult. And all of a sudden, the husband or the boyfriend and the dad has to go do something. I don't know. It was a trailer. But he's gone, so it's just the lady and the kids who don't like the lady. But now some weird
Oh.
stuff is going on. And there's like people at the house from this cult or whatever, dude. It looks pretty creepy. So now it's like you're forced to like each other because you want to survive. And it's like a religious cult, which I feel like are the scarier ones.
Yeah,
If there
that
is any
sounds,
other cults, I feel like every single cult is backed up by some sort of religion.
Yeah.
But, I mean, I'm not saying an official. I guess I don't know what it takes to be an official religion, but
I think it's like 10,000 members or something.
yeah.
I don't know, something along those lines. Yeah, that sounds creepy. That sounds like that reminds me of. Did you ever see the horror movie that came out? I guess last year. That Hereditary.
No, it's on Netflix, isn't it, or Hulu?
It's on Netflix. Yeah, it's on Netflix.
Yeah. It's on my watch list.
Oh.
Is it good? That's with the little girl, right?
Ooh. The little girl and the young boy who's in like Jumanji.
Yep.
Yep.
I'll have to
Yeah,
watch that.
God,
Yeah,
dude,
that's on my list.
It's hard to pin down because what was that? What were we looking at? It was like 66. Like there's something like just over 75 movies in total coming out in 2020.
Yeah, there's a lot.
Something around though. But man, what I'm looking forward to, just like touching on Quiet Place 2.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know why I went, with the I mean, what the fuck is that accent? What just happened to me?
You got possessed.
Yeah, I was like, yeah, I mean,
You're talking about
it looks okay.
You're talking about cults and everything, and suddenly the demon that's in your
okay.
house is like,
It looks okay. Let me say this as American as again. It looks okay. I don't know why I went that route with it. I liked the first one. It was good. It was different. But we get it. You got to be quiet. That's all I got to say about that one.
We get it. You got to be quiet.
We get it. Your kids are fucking loud. And they killed Dad. No.
and that's why Dad's gone.
But yeah, there's a few good ones like that.
What do you I want to hear your take on what do you think of the new Top Gun?
Oh my God. I'm glad you brought it up because I got something to say.
Okay.
But the shots that they got just from the trailer, jaw-dropping.
Yeah.
Okay.
How much do you want to bet Tom Cruise learned how to fly a jet so he could do his own stuff?
Probably bought his own jet and airport so no one can say anything. He's like, yeah, I own this airspace. So tell me
if
I
I
can't fly my
die, I die.
F-16. If he dies, he dies. No, super cool. I'm excited for that one. I don't think I'll ever get tired of a Tom Cruise movie. I don't care if he's wacko. He performs, and that's all I want actors to do. I don't care about their beliefs and stuff like that. I just want them to perform. And maybe go on that Hot Wings show so I can watch them eat hot things and be in pain and laugh at their expense. That's about all I want actors to do. And maybe hang out with me sometime. If I become famous and I think you're a cool actor. Sorry, I got off track there. Anyways, Top Gun looks sick.
Yeah, it looks pretty awesome. You know, Miles Teller.
Yeah,
that guy.
Yeah.
The actor.
Yeah.
He's playing Goose's son in the first one.
But he don't have blonde hair.
Playing the son of Goose.
Yeah, but he doesn't have blonde hair. I feel like Goose needs.
Goose doesn't have blonde hair.
Wait, did he? Wait.
No. Who are you thinking of? Are you thinking of what's his face?
Am I thinking of the
why can't I think of the guy Val Kilmer, who Val Kilmer plays?
Yeah, wasn't
Think
he?
about Iceman or whatever is it?
Yeah, I don't know why I was thinking. Oops. Because Val Kilmer's fucking dope.
Yeah, Val
Who's
Kilmer.
his son?
Yeah.
Can I be his son?
Is Val Kilmer looking for a son?
That does look good. They didn't release much of a plot, which who cares? It's just gonna be dope shots of jets and stuff like that, and intense moments.
Yeah.
So No one cares. Watch it
100%.
big screen. I will say, I recently bought a 58-inch TV with a subwoofer, and so I know 58 inches and like, oh, there's bigger TVs. Suck my dick. With the subwoofer and stuff like that, I don't know if I'm gonna go to the movies anymore. I'm not gonna lie. Unless there's a movie where I'm like, I need to see that, like Hustlers.
I
which
need to
didn't
see
in
this
theaters.
in a giant screen.
Yeah, I mean, I am content
Like-
laying in bed 8 feet away from my TV, and I mean, my neighbors can hear every single part of my movie if I crank that motherfucker up.
Yeah, no, 100%. I agree because like there's, the ones that I'll keep, I'm a sucker for, but I'll keep going back to like the theaters for like superhero or hero films.
That's
Like,
more. That's more than the film, though. That's the people. That's like people dressing up. That's like the anticipation. Of
yeah.
There's so much more with those like big premieres.
There's so
Like,
much. Yeah.
I mean, I used to go to the movies all the time just for like random movies where I'm like, oh, that looks good. Let's go watch it in theaters. Now, screw that.
You're like,
Give me
I'll
to
just
pay
wait this
$14 US for popcorn. Yeah, you're mine. I'll make it at home in my air popper. It'll taste better.
Man, you know how much popcorn is? That sounds kind of cheap. You know how much it is here?
That was a guesstimation.
So you want
That was a
you get-
small maybe.
get-
I don't know.
You get so at our theater, or the biggest theater in our town, you can get popcorn for it's 2 medium popcorns, 2 medium drinks, and 2 small candy bags. So like kind of like everyone gets you and your buddy, you and your girl, you and your boyfriend, whatever. Like each of you gets something, right? $32.
That's whack.
$32. And then on top of that, the tickets, $15 a piece. So you're going out to see a movie and you're at like $65.
Yeah, screw that. It ain't worth it. Especially if no one's paying half. If I go to a
That's
movie
ex-
with you and it's like I get the tickets.
You're paying your ticket.
Yeah. It's like if I get tickets, you're getting food. Don't try to be like, I don't want anything because you're getting me something.
But if I go to a movie with you, let's say, and we go to see a flick.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, one day, right? We go see a flick, and if something happens, and I'm paying for the whole the night out, you're holding my hand.
Yo.
Like
You don't even got to worry though.
that's
I am pocketing. We have brought bottles of like sparkling cider, I'll say, and glasses into movie theaters.
into a movie theater.
and poured up in a movie theater, just like, yeah, here you go. Who's next?
Oh my god.
What are they gonna do? Anyway,
I don't know.
dude. Yeah. It's like especially wintertime when you got a heavy coat on. Yo, I'm packing some M&Ms and some.
Oh yeah, I'm stuffing that. I'm stuffing that jacket
Yeah.
full.
I can get it next door
Stuffing it.
for $1, and you want to sell it to me for $8 for the same thing? No, thank you. And it's been sitting, and it's not fresh. It's been sitting there because no
It's
one
been
wants
sitting
it.
there for all day.
Anyways, okay.
You're telling me that popcorn that's sitting in that big box is fresh?
It ain't.
Get out of my face. That ain't fresh.
So Doolittle's coming out too. They're remaking that, which is good.
Oh,
I think,
with RDJ.
yeah, I think RDJ is the only person that you could. I mean, there's probably some other people, but if you're gonna do it right,
Come on.
he is the way to go.
Come on. Right?
That dude, he
When
had a
is he
rough
not
patch.
the way to go?
He is. Every movie he's in now is just awesome. He played a black dude and everyone loved it. I mean, everyone, because he did it
Tony
so
Stark can
tastefully.
do no wrong.
Well, let's chill
Oh.
out with Tony Stark. He could definitely screw some things up.
Yeah. It's,
I think that looks good. Sonic was pretty controversial
the new one.
at first.
The revamp.
Which I think, dude,
good.
that's like a game developer listening to their community. That is the smartest choice you could do when everyone is just like, what are you doing? You're making this and you're going to destroy it before it's out. Just like people mentioned with Mulan not having Mushu in it. I don't think they listened though, and they took Mushu out. I haven't confirmed that or not. The movie is
I'm
not
gonna be
it's
pissed.
coming out. If there's not a hint of Mushu in there,
There's not a hint of a dragon in there.
Dragon, not lizard. But I think it was super smart for them to fix it and do.
It looks great.
It does. It looks so much better. It looked weird at first. Like, I'm not a huge Sonic
the first
fan.
one.
If I'm gonna be honest, my most memorable nostalgic Sonic games, and if you remember this, then you're awesome, was when you would go to McDonald's back in the day and they had good toys. And there was a time they had the Sonic toys.
Little toys?
Dude, they had all the Sonic characters, and it was each like a different sport. Like, one was soccer, racing, like all this different stuff. That is like, I remember those Sonic games so much more than like an actual Sonic game. And people are going to hate me for that, but I don't care. Because I just remember the character Sonic. I remember all the merch and stuff. Like I said, I was outside a lot. I didn't play a lot of games. So when we went to McDonald's after like playing soccers and stuff like that, it was like, yo, what's this game? Sonic.
Soccers. Cool. That's what my video games is.
Seriously.
But no, it's it looks so much better.
It does. And it looks like a good story, dude.
Yeah. There's so many movies coming out.
There's too many movies to talk about. And that's that.
What's kind of funny?
We're gonna have to come back and like hit some that we've missed too.
Yeah, the one thing, the last thing I'll touch on, before we wrap it up, is I love this sort of like beef going on right now between like Marvel and DC, and they're like, well, Marvel's only coming out with one movie this year, or like two. And DC's got, DC's got 3.
What do they have?
Or like,
Birds of Prey.
I think it's Birds of Prey.
I don't know what other 2.
Wonder Woman.
Wonder Woman's it is DC, huh? Yeah, what is that? 1894 or 1984 or something like that? It's some sort of year is the title. Real creative.
Yeah.
Can't think of a title. When's this movie based on, Phil? Yeah, it's 1894. Okay, Wonder Woman 1894. Put that. If we don't think of something by then, just leave it. I don't even know if that's the right year, but
maybe it is only those 2. I think it is only those 2.
But I know what you mean. I know what you mean.
But then one that's going to stand out that is a comic book movie, Bloodshot.
Yeah, Bloodshot.
With Vin Diesel.
I know. It looks
kind of cool.
It looks cool. I don't know. I'm on the fence.
Let's be honest. Let's be honest. You can't really expect too much from, Mr. Vin Monotone Diesel.
Mr. We're family. It doesn't matter if it's by a hubcap or mile. Or whatever he says, inch or a mile. Yeah. Not anything against him. I just think that, I don't know. I'm on the fence on it. I think it could be good. It could also be, well, I mean, think of Suicide Squad. I really enjoyed it. I know a lot of people that enjoyed it. It got like 27% or 23%, something like that on Rotten Tomatoes.
It got pooped on.
And that's by critics, and then it was like 59% by consumers. People did not like it. I don't know why. I enjoyed it.
I think the one thing that I still don't get, I'm a huge fan of a lot of those characters. Like I love Suicide Squad in the comics. They got great history. 2 things I didn't get. Number 1, why, hats off to the guy who did the prosthetics for Killer Croc. He did a great job. Looks fantastic for a crocodile man. But Killer Croc is not average height. He's not an average dude. Killer Croc is literally this larger than life, mutated human crocodile monster. Like, he's huge.
Yeah. I think of like the Batman games, like Arkham Knight or Arkham City.
Yeah, he's massive.
It's like, big motherfucker.
It's like King Shark. It's like same thing. And they're both huge entities, right? So I was like on the edge about that.
Titties? What? Sorry, continue.
And then the other thing that was kind of like weirding me out is that if the Enchantress is causing a, let's say, like in the movie, a world-ending threat, right? Like if this doesn't go right, the world's done. Like, pa-pow. And you have Superman at your disposal. But instead, you put together a ragtag group of criminals to handle it?
That was the thing about a lot of them were like, the plot just isn't there.
Like, I enjoyed the action.
That's the thing. It
The
was
action,
enjoyable.
the comedy,
Because we
the
went into
kinda
it with a positive mindset.
banter.
Like, I'm just going to, I'm going to go watch this in theaters. There's going to be, these big actors. There's going to be Margot Robbie, hubba. And that's all that it takes to make me happy. So I was fine.
And, yeah, and, man, I gotta say, I cried when Diablo was telling his story.
Yeah.
That shit was harsh. When he brings up his hand and like he has the flame of his wife dancing, and then he puts the cup over it and to sniff it out. And he goes, "That's why I don't have a family anymore, because he killed them." Bro.
Yeah. I think Birds of Prey
Walk her works.
needs to succeed. Not needs to. They'll still have, they'll be fine, and I think it'll do pretty good because people are hoping it does good, but it definitely needs to do better, at least critic-wise, than Suicide Squad did. Which Margot Robbie's a good actress. I think she portrays Harley Quinn really good.
And Ian McGregor is Black Mask, so
I think it'll be entertaining, at least.
Yeah,
and I think it'll be a lot easier to, rather than having that whole group and try to make a plot around them, to have one character be like, all right, this is the plot after all that happened. It's going to be around her. I think that'll be so much easier. And I think that's why it's going to be a better film.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
Yeah, Marvel and DC are going at it. DC is definitely the underdog. Marvel movies are just great. Like, you can't. I don't know anyone that's like, yeah, I went to it and it was like, it sucked. It was just bored the whole time. It's like, no matter what, I'm enjoying it. Even like the worst one. What was the? People said Captain Marvel wasn't good. People were like, I didn't really like. Dude, I watched that and I was like, why have I not seen this already? This was actually, I enjoyed it. Plus, Brie Larson's hot.
Yeah, she's a lovely human being.
Yeah. But I think we should wrap it up for now.
Should probably wrap it up, yeah.
And then we'll come back. There's a lot of things that this was just getting into it. This was dipping our toes. This was an hour and a half plus of dipping our toes. Maybe less. Maybe after editing we'll but it gives you an idea. Next time we'll talk about less serious stuff like farts and something. I don't know. But if you did stop by,
and if you did care to give us a listen, thank you.
We appreciate you, and we
appreciate you joining us.
We haven't set a date for like releasing episodes, or a schedule or anything like that. I want to try to do this at least once a week.
Yeah, I'd be. I
think it's easy to talk to a buddy for an hour or so once a week.
Yep.
And maybe have a few points to talk about. But for now,
yeah. Thank you very much. Have a lovely night.